What is depression? That is one word I keep on hearing, depression.
Depression seems to be a state of mind where a person is at unrest, and that unrest is coming from somewhere, from a failure, from wanting to achieve something unachieved.
मैं बहुत youth से बात करता हूँ. I talk to a lot of people who are presently in 90s, born after 1995 or 96. We are not happy, we are not depressed. Obviously, as you said, things are not happening in their state.
In 90s, those who have taken religion as a faith, being able to ask questions seems to be very obsolete. All our scriptures are based on question answers. Bhagavad Gita is question answer.
जब एक youth, when it gets confused between logic, non-logic, he goes to organization who say that, you come to me, we provide you with happiness.
Actually, this proclamation in itself that I can provide you happiness is false.
Anybody who is a VIP, who goes there, stands there, he's done some good karmas in his past birth, so he gets the VIP treatment. And
I disagree with that, Ji. Everyone who has made an effort to reach there has made a good karma. The effort from a common man is way higher than a VIP.
Premanand Baba and Virat Kohli went there, and after that,
वैदिक सनातन संस्कृति में हम लोग अनुभव से जाने जाते हैं. जो अनुभव से जाना गया, हो सकता है उसके पास लोग ना हो सकता है वो लोगों को बुलाना ही ना चाहता हो, वो स्वयं में इतना संतुष्ट हो, सेल्फ कंटेंट हो, that he doesn't want people to be there.
नमस्कार. टुडे अगेन, आज फिर से मेरे शंकर रावल चैनल में, SAA चैनल में, I have once again Swami Nalinanad Giri Ji, Swami Giri Ji, from the US. He was in India, हिंदुस्तान आए हुए थे. हमारे आग्रह से he agreed to give a small talk and have a small discussion. And today's discussion, आज की जो बात होगी, mostly we will talk it in the परिप्रेक्ष्य of Gen Z, जो आज की जो नई पीढ़ी है. And Swami Ji has been, even if you hear my last podcast, he has been in the Himalayas. He has got an idea of all the Ved, Upanishad, Itihas, Tantra, Mantra, Yantra. He's gone through the studies in a very systematic way. And इस सब के बाद he is in the US today, these days, where he does various level of activities which improve our overall well-being. यही मैं कह सकता हूँ, हमारे रहने के तरीके को अच्छा करता है. तो स्वामी नलिनानंद जी, प्रणाम.
प्रणाम.
And my first question to you would be, what is depression? That is one word I keep on hearing, depression. So what is this depression to you?
Depression seems to be a state of mind where a person is at unrest, and that unrest is coming from somewhere, from a failure, from wanting to achieve something unachieved. And I truly also believe that depression in today's generation is growing because we are aiming higher than our capabilities. And the moment we try to learn and adjust ourselves to the given situations, depression can easily go away. It is just a mindset. The moment you change the mindset, as I always say in my quotes that I publish daily, when you are struggling with something, do not consider it to be the end. It is only a bend. So just go with the bend, and you will open up new horizons in life. We all need to be positive in what we do. We all need to be thinking one step ahead of everyone else, so that we can explore our own capabilities and get to a point where our mindset changes.
मैं बहुत youth से बात करता हूँ. I talk to a lot of people who are presently in 90s, born after 1995 or 96. And they have two questions. One is, we are not happy, we are not depressed. Obviously, as you said, things are not happening in their state. And they are confused. One is, they question religion. I mean, they say that when we were born, we were told, ये भगवान है, ये आपके रीति रिवाज हैं, ये आपकी मतलब संस्कार हैं, ये फॉलो करना है. आप ज़्यादा पूछ नहीं सकते हैं कि भगवान कहाँ है, कहाँ से आए हैं, क्यों आए हैं, कब आए हैं, कैसे थे, क्या थे, कॉन्शियसनेस क्या है, ये क्या है, वो क्या है. यही सब कुछ है और आप इनकी पूजा करिए. अगर आप डिप्रेशन में हैं तो आपने पूजा कम करिए, आप ज़्यादा पूजा करिए, प्रेयर ज़्यादा करिए, ज़्यादा पूछा जाता है. सो दे आर कन्फ्यूज्ड. They try to analyze. Today's generation analyzes everything. And then they say, they try to debunk religion. They try to understand religion. On the other hand, then you have psychologists, you have psychiatrists, you have आपके medical field के लोग हैं. उसमें भी आजकल psychology is very important. Counseling is very important. And then people talk about dopamine and other chemicals which are there. They are all told आपका serotonin ज़्यादा हो गया है, आपका dopamine ज़्यादा हो गया है, so there is a problem, so you need to take medicines. So this set of activity is also there, and this other set of activity जो उनके, they are crushed between the two. So this is my observation. I want you to reply, give a solution, and is it being addressed properly? If not, how?
It is very beautifully stated.
I will give long way to speak. I will be a listener because this is my question. If it is not being done, अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? अगर लोग कर रहे हैं तो उसमें गलत क्या कर रहे हैं और कैसे होना चाहिए? So, I mean, there are about 4 or 5 questions I've put together, and I would like you to hear because I would not like to interrupt you in between. And so, over to you.
Dekhi, the first part of the question that's very beautiful is people who are born in 90s, those who have taken religion as a faith without being able to ask questions seems to be very obsolete, because all our scriptures are based on question answers. Bhagavad Gita is question answer. Arjun in chapter number 3 very profoundly says that, asks Krishna that you are confusing me between karma, theory of karma. So the liberty of asking a question, because we are not Islam, and there is where a sword is drawn out to stop people from questioning. Our scriptures are based on question answers. All the Puranas with Shut and Shaunak Ji Maharaj are all question answers. So basically, I truly believe that based on the scriptural knowledge, that question answer is what we are trained in. We have to question, and there are very beautiful logical answers provided in the scripture, probably in a decoded way, in a coded way that has to be decoded. And once you try and get deeper into understanding of the scripture logically, with all contexts from Upanishads, all contexts from the Vedas, all contexts from the Puranas, we will have much greater ability to get over the vices of this society. And on the other part, where people are going to mass psychiatry, going to psychologists, going to mind healers, or going to motivational speakers, Because their base is not scripture, because they have not gone through the scriptural values and the understanding. They are trying to take people to medicine that's becoming a business, it is getting more commercialized, it is playing with someone's wellness and health. Because if we are providing them depression medicines or trying to, get to their point where they are stressed and we are giving them stress reliever medicines, they're going to be drowsy, they're going to be sleepy, they're going to be uh, tarnished. एंड आई ट्रूली बिलीव इस सब को विराम देकर इंसान को अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग, अपनी सोच, उसके ऊपर काम करना बहुत ज़रूरी है जी. और द पैथ वी फॉलो इज़ healing without medicine. Once the understanding is right, once your intellect is in the right direction, your whole body is going to get स्वस्थ भी होगी, प्रसन्न भी होगी. और ये डिप्रेशन और ये सब जैसी बीमारियां जो आज मनुष्य को सता रही हैं, वी आर गेटिंग पेशेंट्स फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर, एंड द ओनली थिंग वी डू इज़ meditate. And the philosophy of Adi Shankaracharya is vichar. किम औषधम तस्य विचार एव. औषधि केवल विचार है. अगर हम किसी को विचार दे दें, जैसे भगवान शंकराचार्य ने कहा कि घड़ा मिट्टी से बना है और घड़े को अपने मिट्टी स्वरूप को जानना है, तो वो क्या करे? मिट्टी 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 बोलेगा तो मिट्टी को समझ जाएगा? नहीं, उसको सिर्फ विचार करना है कि मैं मिट्टी था, मैं मिट्टी हूँ, मैं मिट्टी ही रहूँगा. ये विचार ही उसको अपने तत्व तक ले जाएगा. और तत्व तक आते ही जो नाम रूप आकार की प्रतिबद्धता से जो दुख आ रहा है, क्योंकि जन्म मृत्यु घड़े की है, नाम की है, आकार की है, रूप की है, मिट्टी की जन्म मृत्यु नहीं है. यदि हम वेदांत के उस चरम तक जाकर केवल विचार करने से ही समझ जाएं, और दैट इज़ थॉट ओरिएंटेड मेडिटेशन, it is so pious and so pure that we can heal people without medicine.
So the youngsters today, I mean, as you rightly said, they don't, with the kind of competition जिस तरह का हो गया, भाग दौड़ हो गया, आगे बढ़ना है, उनके पास ये समय नहीं है कि स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ें. उनको तो माता पिता बता देते हैं, ये ब्रह्मा है, ये विष्णु है, ये देवी जी हैं, ये
मुझे लगता है जी ये भी बहुत बड़ी कमी है हमारे यहाँ की. हमारी जो older generations हैं, they are not able to explain the righteous way how to present our deities to our children. There is a logical concept behind every deity. We don't have a four-handed person ever in the real world. We don't have a four-faced person ever in the real world. It depicts, and the underlying meaning is missing. So when the generations are unable to, like I am in the US, yes, I'm in the US and I meet children all the time where they're asking, why do we have a monkey god? Why do we have a goddess that is with 18 hands and with so much of arms and ammunition with her all the time? And things like this. And once we logically explain them, it is all a depiction. जैसे हमारे गुरुदेव ने अपने ग्रंथ में लिखा, परम पुण्य प्रतीक है परम ईश का नाम. ये सब प्रतीक हैं. उन प्रतीक के पार जो एक ईश्वरीय सत्ता है, जो उस कारण से हमारे पास इस रूप में आई, हमने सिर्फ उस रूप की आराधना की, उस कारण को समझे बिना. यदि हम उस कारण को समझ के उस रूप की आराधना करेंगे तो हम उसकी शक्ति, उसकी सामर्थ्य, उस चेतना की ऊर्जा को प्राप्त करने के समर्थ बन जाएंगे.
So Guruji, what's happening here is my next question, which logically it comes to my mind is that, as you rightly said, that there is a group talks about religion, talks about meditation, talks about भगवान के बारे में बात करते हैं, विभिन्न रूपों के बारे में बात करते हैं, लोग हैं. दूसरी तरफ अब जब एक youth, when it gets confused between logic, non-logic, because जब वो डिप्रेस होता है, परेशान होता है, या सोचने की शक्ति कम हो जाती है, या थॉट्स ज़्यादा आते हैं, तो कोई कहता है, तो ही गोज़ टू समबडी लाइक यू, ही गोज़ टू ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. आजकल बहुत सारे संस्थाएं बन गई हैं, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बन गए हैं, who say that you come to me, we provide you with happiness. वहाँ भागते हैं. वहाँ पर मैं कुछ जानता हूँ, मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स हैं. There is a very dear friend of mine. Her daughter from America. She was a very good student. They do take drugs and weeds, and I've talked to her that, weed is, I think, allowed in America. It is allowed. So they took weed, and that gives a kind of a high. Brilliant girl, brilliant girl. That then she had a journey in India. A very good dancer she was, and I can't take her name. She's well known. She's written a book also. And came to India, then went to various gurus and places, and had this issue of repulsiveness, going ekdam se chhod. These kinds of issues were there with her, but whole lot. She is back in the US today, married, having a child also, but she went through a system where, if I hear, it is not a happy story. एंड ऐसा एक केस नहीं है, ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस होते हैं. तो ये जो हमारे बच्चे हैं, ये जो व्हेन दे गो टू, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट आपका योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज गुड, बेटर, बेस्ट, व्हाट इट टीचर्स, बट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ सच ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, लॉट ऑफ सेक्ट्स, लॉट ऑफ हु आर टेलिंग यू, कम टू मी, आई विल गिव यू हैप्पीनेस. खुशी जो है, मन की शांति जो है, मेरे पास है. तो what is your take on this whole systematic changing which has happened, which is a byproduct, confusion का byproduct है पूरा.
Actually, this proclamation in itself that I can provide you happiness is false. I truly believe those who have the ability of someone being happy through them would not be propagating this message commercially. And they will be sitting somewhere unknown, unseen, and just trying to be who they are, being who I am, within of myself, by myself, and for myself. And I truly also would want to say this, that this generation, and a particular case that you've brought up right now, and I totally agree with you. There are innumerable cases. I go through them all the time. The only and only solution that I see is spirituality is a service to the mankind. It was not based on an agenda of you're going into a trade fair where everyone has their own fraternity, where they have brought their own product, and they're trying to get into a race of my product is better than someone else's.
Yes, yeah.
So there is no competitiveness in spirituality. We accept everyone the way they are. Someone may be at a lower level of consciousness, someone may be at a higher level of consciousness, but that doesn't mean that they are not right or someone else is right. We truly believe that everyone has created a model to help someone, but effective or ineffective. And we should all aim at serving the world, serving the mankind, to the people, those who get in our contact, serving them with all truth, the best of our ability, and try to make that sphere better. So I moved to US and was struggling with certain commercial aspects connected to spiritualism, which we never wanted, because the piousness of the practice is gone. The moment you're targeting money into spirituality, the piousness is lost. So we had an aim to this organization, Eternal Voice, that it has to aim at a non-commercial aspect and serve the people, those who are in the congregation, and not aim higher. Let people come by themselves, and those who can benefit can vouch for it. They can provide their own testimonies as to how they went through it. There was a pure journey, there is a pure journey, and there is gonna be a pure journey where there is no string attached to commercial.
No example comes to my mind is we have Sri Sri, and I personally know that we have a lot of relatives in the US. Everybody has cousins, etc. And a lot of people here. There's a course.
Sudarshan Kriya, yes.
And it keeps on increasing one by one, and it's got, and they of course have whatever Shraddha, whatever Dakshina must be attached to it. Obviously, it is there. It is in India, but I think it's very popular around back in America. So, what is your take on such efforts?
Any organization, when it gets into that organized mode, probably would need some amount of money to run their expenses and get to make it running, make it happening. But the moment we decide a price on it, we have made it like commercial good, or we have made a commercial service what we are going to sell. In my camps and everywhere, the logistic value is divided into everyone equally. I pay my part. Everyone pays their own part. No profit, no loss. Probably that is the way organizations need to run, because the moment you're trying to earn from this side, it becomes a sin. In my मेरी दृष्टि में, मेरे विचार में, ये एक पाप है जी.
तो आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग जो कर रहा है वो पाप कर रहा है.
They need to decide.
I mean, that's what you said. I mean, implies.
बहुत ऐसी organizations हैं जी, those who are making commercial courses, and the proclamation is they're serving some people in some areas of rural areas of India, which is very good. We all support that, but you don't make things commercial on the end where a person who's coming to take blessings, get healed, get cured, and wanting to raise their consciousness has to pay for a course. No, that should not be. It should be a service, and I would like to give you a recent example. I was in Badrinath, and when we went to Badrinath, so we wanted to do all the pujas, and now there was a set price for every puja. You have to get a ticket, you have to get enrolled, you pay a price, and that price was probably 11,000 rupees for the entire day. My inside was to contribute around 51,000 rupees to the pilgrimage. And when they were asking me about for 11,000 rupees, my mindset got disturbed. I am here to offer more. When you're asking for less, it is better to settle in less. If you're making it a trade, if my ritual has become a trade, probably I pay a smaller price. I would have given more. When the organizations are trying to raise money through this, probably the mindset of the people is going to become like this. It is going to be like my mindset. I was there to pay more. But once you've decided a price, I pay less and I get away.
You mean to say the organizational consciousness travels to the consciousness to the person?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Ji. And this has to change. When we set up our ashram and we had rooms for people to stay in. My board came to me and they wanted to set up a price for one night or 5 days or 7 days or 10 days. I said, my organization has to be non-commercial. People come and stay. They don't pay a penny or they pay $1 million. It is totally up to them. No questions asked. They can stay as much as they want. They can enjoy as much as they can. And they can eat as much as they want. And nobody has to ask a price for it. And we've seen there are certain people, those who would not give a penny, but there will be certain people, those who would donate $10,000 for just staying there. So you have to leave it open. All our pilgrimages, be it Kashi, be it Mahakal, be it Badrinath, be it Kedarnath, all these organizations, let us change our modus operandi and be at a point where it is totally non-commercial and people like me would want to go and donate because we understand there is a running cost involved in all the operations. We understand we are to a point where we know everything is run by money in this material world, where money should not be the first consideration, it should be the last consideration. And somehow it diminished and tarnished the image of the pilgrimage in my mind. I'm connected to Lord Badrish. I'm not connected to the organization. My devotion towards Badrish is not going to get hampered. But towards the organizational structure, it did tarnish the image. So I would want and request through your channel and through this podcast that let's come to a point where we keep our devotions high, in high esteem towards our deities, towards our faith, and let us bring these organizations to a point where they can let a common man be a part of the entire ritual and whatever they can afford to the best of their ability. There's another thing was that I'm standing in the VIP queue and there are other people waiting behind me, and that was giving me, living in the US, we believe in equality, and the most unequal place for people is a pilgrimage, where everything is evaluated through money, through status, through power, through sources, through links. Because I had certain links, so the treatment given to me was even higher than a common man, and that was pricking my consciousness, raising a lot of questions inside of me, and that didn't feel right to me. And probably next time when I'm doing a pilgrimage, I would like to go like a common man.
I asked this question to one person, and one yogi, one guru, whatever. And guru is a very high thing. So he said that, anybody who is a VIP, who goes there, stands there, he's done some good karmas in his past birth. So he gets the VIP treatment and so on and so forth.
But then probably we are saying that the rest of the people are with bad karmas.
Yes, that's what you were saying.
So I disagree with that, Ji. I completely disagree with that. Everyone who has made an effort to reach there has made a good karma. But if you're trying to say that the VIP is only one with a good karma, the effort from a common man is way higher than a VIP because he's coming with all comfort, he's traveling with all luxury.
His Param karma was good, not the present. His Param.
Yes, absolutely. But that common man has made way lot higher efforts than a VIP to reach there, to do the darshan, and they don't even get a glimpse of the Lord. That pinches me. That pricks my consciousness.
One thing which I'd like to put it very, very bluntly, and is what you say is that organizations which are trying to tell practices, do practices, propagate practices in a commercial way, they are in fact bringing a consciousness which is negative and is not the way which Sanatan Dharma or Dharma says.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. You know, if you just try to evaluate the financial ability of a few organizations in India, they can change the entire economy of the country. But because of certain political objectives, because of certain political non-interference, they are growing to a point where they can entirely change the economy. And these are just probably 4 or 5 organizations in India that have grown to a point where you see masses attached.
Like, for example,
You can see Isha, you can see Art of Living, where the volume is so high. You are just trying to govern the entire nation's economy through one organization. I probably think that the current government has to come to an understand and awaken to a point where they limitize the financial values on these organizations. And probably this is going to be one of my struggles in this country, that every organization should only have a small amount of money to a point where they can perform their own logistical aspects, and the rest should go for the development of the nation, not belong to a particular organization. Because unfortunately these bigger organizations become a vote bank. So the governments, in order to, for their own political agendas, go hand in glove. And if this can be the law for the land, and only a particular amount of money can be held by an organization, and the rest goes for the development of the nation, for hospitals, for roads, for infrastructure, for schools, for universities, for old age care, for orphans, the entire scenarios can change. Entire scenarios.
Now that was a very, very, very different dimension which you brought to this whole subject, and I think it can be debated, and it has its own pros and cons.
I truly would say that a person like me, I've been singing Vande Mataram since past 32 years in all my satsangs anywhere in the globe. We are a true patriot, and we need to make our country not an ashram. I've always propagated this message through my oration, through my sermons, that let us build our nation than building just an ashram.
So do you mean to say that all the organizations you named, Isha Foundation, Art of Living,
I have nothing against
No,
them.
you're saying the way
Yes.
the way they, I mean, you have nothing against them, but the way they are a commercial organization using money, getting a hold over the consciousness of people by whatever product they have, and so they wield a lot of power, right? That's what you're trying to say, and that should be limited, right?
Yes.
Now, how do you justify the whole infusion of, this whole upliftment of, I mean, these organizations are also seen as platforms, foundations, whatever you can call them, to uplift Sanatan Dharma, to uplift Hindu Dharma, to uplift, the people who are, a lot of things which are happening, which we all know. So that is where they also get associated with, and that is where their, perhaps whatever I've read, heard, seen, that is the main objective, is that our objective is to, to bring Sanatananism across the world, like Art of Living has brought meditation, you know, in the US and pan world. Isha Foundation has done a lot of things in terms of understanding Lord Shiva and his way he speaks on various topics, etc. Guruji. So I mean, it is all about the basic thing. Is on the top of it is actually the first thing which we said, that betterment of mental health of people through religion. So, what is how
So, like just I just said, when I saw this in Badrinath, my devotion towards Badrinath is as is, but an image got tarnished in my mind for the commercial organization that's running the logistic aspect of Badrinath. Similarly, these organizations do have the ability, and I totally agree, the practices are amazing, practices are nice. If they remove that commercial aspect from this, these courses are not charged, they can be provided free, they can be as a service to the mankind, and let the people understand that these hold certain logistic values and let them pay for it through their devotion, not extract it.
okay.
Let it be a devotional aspect that they can provide what they feel from inside. Certain people would not be as capable enough to pay. Certain people would meet out all the expenses for the other. So, if this can be non-commercial, all the services can be non-commercial, I think they will be able to serve a lot better than the way they are doing it today. So, and I've met certain people, those who came up with certain cases where, not with these organizations, certain other organizations where mental torture, extortion, and grabbing a person to a point that he cannot or she cannot go to any other organization, and fanatic aspect attached to that. You have to fanatically connect to this organization, or you have to fanatically connect to me. That should not be the case. People should always have the liberty of growing. Like I always give an example, when a child was in nursery, kindergarten, he had a different teacher. As the consciousness grew, as he became a person of better ability, a better understanding, went to matric, went to the 10th grade, and the teacher changed. So as you are growing, the teachers are going to change. So teacher should not be always one from kindergarten to doctorate. I don't believe in that. Even in my disciples, I am a guru to them, but at a given point they would need someone better than me, who is a better teacher, and probably if they are shifting to that point, I should not have a problem.
That's a very valid point, because the whole structure runs that if I am the guru, if you are my shishya, it has a very good guru shishya parampara which comes from our Vedas. But as you
it
said,
has to last for
but the
lives.
element of fanaticism, when it comes in, then only the whole things get propagated. If you look at the history of this organization,
Absolutely.
and then the organization gets propagated, and then you have a lot of people who are actually looking at religion for, peace of mind, mental health, change,
Yes.
and they get attracted in masses.
Yes.
They get attracted in masses. So, what is your suggestion? How can this be changed? Which is actually, as you said, we can name about 4-5 organizations who today hold, as you said, rightfully, perhaps, you are more into this, who hold the consciousness, who hold a large number of people within their whole system of things in terms of religion and consciousness, not doing good work, hospitals, roads, that is a separate thing. Those are non-government organizations who are doing it. So how do you make this shift? What is what is your proposition? What do you
See,
tell?
I would also want to
And,
add
yeah.
my statement was that any person with X number of people doesn't become experienced. People with no popularity, like Neem Karori Baba in his older times, Mihar Baba, or for that example, any other good saint or sage who had no popularity at that point should not be considered a non-saint. People with masses are going to be termed as saints. It is all about experience. Because Steve Jobs went to Neem Karori Baba, it became slowly and slowly and slowly and steadily it grew to a point where aaj Kainchi Dham has become a pilgrimage. People
Huge
from
rush.
all
I mean,
across
yeah.
the globe are now wanting to
Yes.
come and pay their homage to that place. And that saint was probably the most unpopular, unknown person in the entire country until a person like Steve Jobs went to him. So
This very recently happened with Premanand Baba. I mean, Virat Kohli went there, and after that, similar.
yes, and I truly believe a person not holding a congregation or not being popular would not be deemed as a non-saint or कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति जो अनुभव से हीन होगा क्योंकि उसके साथ लोग नहीं जुड़े हुए। वैदिक सनातन संस्कृति में हम लोग अनुभव से जाने जाते हैं जी, और जो अनुभव से जाना गया है हो सकता है उसके पास लोग ना हो सकता है वो लोगों को बुलाना ही ना चाहता हो, उसकी इच्छा ही ना हो, वो स्वयं में इतना संतुष्ट हो, सेल्फ कंटेंट हो that he doesn't want people to be there. So India has to realize that saints are people बगैर इच्छाओं के, बगैर कामनाओं के, और वो केवल आत्म अनुसंधान में लगे हुए लोग हैं। और हम लोग सिर्फ आत्म अनुसंधान को ही अपना लक्ष्य बनाकर चलते हैं। उसमें उस आत्मा को यत्र तत्र सर्वत्र देखना, उसी आत्मा का अनुभव आप में करना, उसी आत्मा का अनुभव एक पशु पक्षी में करना, उसी आत्मा का अनुभव एक वृक्ष में करना, उसकी आत्मा का अनुभव वायु में करना, जल में करना। तो अगर जल को कष्ट है तो मुझे कष्ट है। आज अगर जल दूषित हो रहा है तो मेरा अंतर्चित दूषित हो रहा है। आज गंगा दूषित हो रही है तो मेरा अंतर्चित दूषित हो रहा है। अगर आज वायु प्रदूषित हो रही है तो मेरा अंतर्चित दूषित हो रहा है। अगर कोई व्यक्ति दुख में है, कोई तकलीफ़ में है, तो मेरा अपना अंतर्चित दुखित हो रहा है। आज हमें उस साधुता का वर्ण करना ही पड़ेगा, उस साधुता को जीवन में लाना ही पड़ेगा, और वो साधुता, सादगी वही हमारा आभूषण बने तो साधु इस देश और पूरे विश्व सबके साथ न्याय कर पाएगा।
तो जो आजकल का जो चलन है कि एकदम से पीपल हैव ह्यूज कुछ भी, any Ashtami, any Ratri, I mean we have 5-6 Ratris are very important. बड़े बड़े प्रोग्राम करते हैं, नाच गाना होता है, लोग आते हैं, everything is chalked out, and you are not a propagate, you don't propagate that as.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है जी कि वो जो पुरातन युग था, जब परीक्षित को श्राप हुआ, वो सब संत महर्षियों के पास गए, सब गंगा तट पर बैठे थे और अनायास सुखदेव जी जैसे दिगंबर, निष्प्रिय, निश्चल चरित्र का आगमन हुआ और उन्होंने देखा, और वहीं मनोवृत्ति एकाग्र हो गई, और एक वटवृक्ष की ओट में बैठकर सुखदेव जी सिर्फ परीक्षित को लेकर बैठे। कब वो दौर लौट के आएगा, वो शुद्धता का, वो पवित्रता का, वो एक ऐसी परिकल्पना जिसको औषधि की आवश्यकता थी, उसने तो औषधि पाई, और जो उस औषधि की कामना रखते थे वो भी वहाँ आ गए। गंगाद्या सरिसस्तत्र वनादि सरांसी चह, गंगा आदि तीर्थ आ गए, सागर आ गए, सप्त सागर आए, नदियाँ आईं, सरोवर आए, संत ऋषि महर्षि गण जिनको पता चला कि सुखदेव कथा कर रहे हैं, कोई बोर्ड नहीं लगा था, कोई प्रोपगेशन नहीं थी, कोई मीडिया इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं थी। एक युग ऐसा पवित्र था कि एक कथा होती थी, उस कथा का प्रचार स्वयमेव हो जाता था। आज हम इस होड़ में लगे हैं। मेरा भारत छोड़ने का एक बहुत बड़ा कारण, माय मोस्ट
भारत छोड़ने का कारण, हाँ, ये बहुत
prominent reason to leave India was I didn't want to get into this rat race because it is too commercial. Doing a katha here is a very commercial thing, and doing a katha in the US, it just requires an email. You just shoot out an email or a WhatsApp message and you're done. And you just propagate the message and people just come. And here you have to make it look better, you have to make it better than the other person. Your tent has to look much, like I was learning about certain tents in Kumbh that costed around 100 crores. Why do you want to waste that money, and why can't you contribute towards your own nation to make it better? Those 100 crores have gone in vain after that Kumbh. They could have created a permanent structure where everyone could have used that for the rest of their lives. So that is my pain.
So your pain is not, I mean, I can understand what you're saying is spirituality is important.
Absolutely.
It is very important for our mental health.
Without any price.
What the disconnect is that the commercialization and the exploitation which is
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
And do you say that it is not there in the USA? I mean, where is exactly your ashram, sir? So that
so we have our ashram in Maryland, Ji.
Okay.
In Maryland, very close to Washington DC. From DC, it's around 35-minute drive, and we are based right there. And touch wood, knock the wood, that US is far better in terms of holding spiritual sessions because it is very, very non-commercial at the moment. And I hope it doesn't change because mentality travels everywhere. You can't change the mentality of the people coming in there. People exploit visas. They don't come on a given visa because they would not get that visa in that category. And they come on a tourist visa, they do malpractices, they do havalas because they're not allowed to earn money on a tourist visa, and those preachers are coming on all tourist visas. So this should all be right. I'm working on an R1 visa in the country as a preacher, legally as a preacher, not there on a tourist visa, earning cash from everywhere and not paying tax to the country. And probably we have a president, which we are very proud of. He is going to change the way this is working, and probably he can come up with something nice in terms of framing a law for people with religious backgrounds to come on legal visas to preach and pay their due taxes to the country.
Oh yeah, that's a very big area. The use of substance in the US, data, statistics, very high. And on the other hand, you say that, there could be a very minuscule people who are coming for spiritual discourses, etc., who perhaps are in those realm where, money is like, it's there. It's like, may not be secondary or tertiary, but, it's not primary. So they could be coming for understanding things. But the fact is that the use of substance and value system in terms of family, all that is at a low ebb. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to compare anything, but it's just a statement. How do you react to that?
I truly believe that, any Indian living in America is a very hardworking person. And when they connect to spirituality and when they want to get in deeper into the understanding of knowing religion and faith, getting into devotion and true spiritual side, they make all conscious efforts. They're working from 8 to 6. Then they come to our ashram for satsang. They cook food. They come there. They drive almost like an hour, 45 minutes. They spend good time there in the ashram. Then they drive back. It is like from 8 to 10 at night. Anyone who's making that conscious effort without any kind of commercial aspect to it, they're truly devoted to learn and understand. And a basic difference that I feel here in the public here and the public there, they want to know the logical aspect. These people are just based on stories.
Yes.
And the more जितना आप यहाँ पे कथा में जितना आप प्रेम घोल सकते हैं और प्रेम के नाम पर जितना नचा सकते हैं, जितना रुला सकते हैं, जितना उसके अंदर और भावों का मिश्रण कर सकते हैं, वो कथा सक्सेसफुल हो जाती है।
उसको क्षणिक आनंद मिलता है इन सब चीज़ों से, दैट इज द। और
वहाँ पर लोग बिल्कुल तत्व के ऊपर बेस्ड होकर, जैसे भगवान ने गीता में कहा है जी, मनुष्यानाम सहस्रेषु कश्चित् दति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानाम कश्चिनाम वेति तत्वतः। मुझे भी भारत में कथा करके बहुत आनंद आता है। आप जब अपने सामने हज़ारों की संख्या में एक भीड़ देखते हैं तो कथा में कहने में आनंद, वक्ता को आनंद आता है, लेकिन मुझे उतना ही आनंद वहाँ थोड़े लोगों में कथा को तार्किक रूप से समझाने में भी आता है। और मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ के लोगों को भी उस स्तर तक जागना चाहिए जहाँ सिर्फ कथा कहानी का परित्याग करके, जहाँ हम भगवान कृष्ण के मूल्यों को, उनकी धारणा को अपने अंतर जीवन में चरितार्थ कर पाएँ, वो बहुत आवश्यक है। और अगर हम उसको नाच गान का ज़रिया बना चुके हैं, हम उसके स्तर को हल्का कर चुके हैं, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं हम दोषी करार दिए जाएंगे। कोशिश ये रहती है कि हम उसको हल्का ना करें कभी भी, किसी भी कारण से, क्योंकि वो ज्ञान बहुत विशुद्ध है। उस ज्ञान का कोई सानी इस विश्व में नहीं है। भगवान कृष्ण जैसा देवता इस जग में नहीं है। श्रीमद् भागवत जैसी मृत्यु के पाश से विमुक्त करने वाली ज्ञान पोथी कहीं विश्व में नहीं है। तो आज हम उस मूल्यों को संवर्धित करें, उसका संरक्षण करें, उनको आगे बढ़ाएं, जनमानस तक उसको सादगी से तत्व के साथ पहुंचा दें, तो मुझे लगता है मैं अपने किरदार को जस्टिफाई कर पाऊंगा और बाकी लोग अपने किरदार को जस्टिफाई कर पाएंगे।
So 3 to 4 things I get from your talk is that we need spirituality.
Yes, absolutely.
It should not be commercialized.
Absolutely.
Individuals should understand कि भाई उनको क्या चाहिए, और उसको समझने के लिए ये जाहिर बात है कि लोग चाहिए। जो आपने हमको बताया वो चीज़, huge country, even if 10% people understand what जो आप बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और वो और को बताएंगे, तो ही एक मूवमेंट चालू होगा, अंडरस्टैंडिंग चालू होगी।
मुझे ऐसा लगता है जी, we have a very good,
what are you doing about it? Have you got some plans on it?
We have got a role model like our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, who himself goes to Kedarnath to meditate. He is not doing anything that can create deception or anything that can create a diversion. He himself goes and meditates. He goes to Vivekanand tomb and he meditates there. So even our political people on the highest pedestal are working on those terms of a non-commercial aspect, and I salute to that activity done by him in Kedar, in Vivekanand tomb, where he has given a message by his own actions, which was to be observed by the entire nation. And being a political figure, the way he is wanting to bring spirituality to India is commendable.
Yes,
These
yes.
organizations need to learn from this role model set by a non-spiritual person who is a politician but yet trying to perceive spiritualism without organizational support.
Very well said. We have the Honorable Prime Minister, and I mean, doing it, and exactly what
He
you were
goes
saying.
to Kashi,
it
he
didn't come
goes
to my
to-
mind, because just now when you concluded, it came to my mind that here, we have a person who's at the helm
Yes.
of affairs, and he is a role model of what you are trying to say. So perhaps I would leave you with the thought that how could you perhaps develop more people who could, tell others that this is the way and this is not the way. किसी को बताना है ना कि भाई आप दाएं मत जाइए, बाएं मत जाइए, आप दाएं जाइए, आप सीधे जाइए. That has to be told. Otherwise, it's like वो कहते हैं ना कि we are all average people. They will all
very,
follow.
very nicely asked, Ji. I would probably say we are at a tortoise pace, and we don't believe in rabbit speed. But the change that comes slowly and steadily is a long-lasting change, and we're trying to make our conscious efforts to, bring up a YouTube channel, bring up a Facebook channel, a page, and propagate the message.
We're doing something in Punjab when we were talking.
We had 4 kathas. 3 were in Punjab, 1 was in Delhi, and we had our pilgrimages in between. So we're just trying to make that small little effort of making people aware, getting to a point where they understand spirituality with logic. That is the key to my preachings, is that do not take everything as is. Bring that logic into your mind to understand the concept and propagate that to others, so that everyone can understand religion and spirituality on a stronger basis.
And it's
they
not complicated.
Yes.
That's what
Simplify it.
You're saying it's not complicated. It's all about meditating and
Absolutely.
आश्रम में जाके श्रम करना.
जी.
That is what you were saying.
और श्रम.
आश्रम में जाकर श्रम करना. आश्रम श्रम करने की जगह
जी.
है. That's what you were saying. And with this, one thing I would like to, we've talked on diverse topics which have been around religion, health, people, way, India, America, difference. How I would like you to summarize the whole thing, and also if you have a message for the people who are listening to the podcast.
जितना हम स्वयं को सरल कर पाएँ, जितना हम स्वयं को जागरूक कर पाएँ, जितना हम स्वयं को स्व के लिए समर्पित कर पाएँ. हमारे एक स्वामी मुक्तानंद हुए, उन्होंने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही थी, आपको पूजो अपने आप को, आपको पूजो, आपको ध्याओ, आपको वंदो, क्योंकि आप में आपका राम आप होकर रहता है. अगर हम इस पर अपना सारा केंद्रीकरण कर लें और अपनी सारी एनर्जीज़ को यहाँ पर चैनलाइज कर लें, मैं ही केंद्र बिंदु हूँ, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ, और जो मेरे में है वही ब्रह्मांड में है, और जो ब्रह्मांड में है वही मेरे में है. ब्रह्मांड मेरे से जुदा नहीं है. यदि इस सोच तक मनुष्य पहुँच जाए और भगवान आद्य जगत गुरु शंकराचार्य और अन्य 5 जगत गुरुओं की सोच को अपना ले, तो जहाँ हम बैठे हैं हम वहीं धन्य हो जाएंगे, वहीं शुद्ध हो जाएंगे, वहीं पवित्र हो जाएंगे. और तीर्थम परम किम स्वमनो विशुद्धम. भगवान शंकराचार्य ने कहा कि आपका अपना सधा हुआ मन वही सबसे बड़ा तीर्थ है. स्वमनो विशुद्धम. विशुद्ध मन ही सब तीर्थों के समान पवित्र है. यदि हम अपने मन को उतना निर्मल कर पाएँ, तो कबीर साहब ने कहा था, कबीरा मन निर्मल भया जैसे गंगा नीर, पाछे पाछे हरि फिरें कहत कबीर कबीर. तो यदि ये स्थिति आ जाए तो आज भारत धन्य हो जाएगा. और मुझे लगता है भारत के पास जितना ओज, जितना तेज, जितनी आभा और जितनी प्रतिभा समझने की है, वो बाकी लोगों के पास नहीं है. लेकिन हम अपनी ऊर्जाओं को स्वयं ह्रास न करें. हम अपनी ऊर्जाओं को जागृत करके उन ऊर्जाओं को पहचानें. और यदि आज इस देश का प्रधानमंत्री हमें छोटी छोटी बातों में संकेत कर रहा है, छोटी छोटी बातों में संदेश दे रहा है, हम उन धर्म गुरुओं से ऊपर भी उस व्यक्तित्व को निखार पाएँ, निहार पाएँ, समझ पाएँ, उसके उस संदेश को जहाँ परिस्थितियों का सबसे बड़ा जंजाल है। हमारे आगे वैसी परिस्थितियाँ नहीं हैं जी, हम उन संघर्षों से नहीं जूझते जो वो जूझते। उसके अंदर भी यदि कोई व्यक्ति ध्यान, योग, प्राणायाम करे नित्य और एक अलग प्रतिभा से अपने देश को आज विश्व में दर्शाए, तो धार्मिक लोगों से, हम लोगों से हटकर हम उनको ही एक बार देख लें, क्योंकि हमने ही उनका चुनाव करके उनको वहाँ बिठाया और उस व्यक्ति ने हमें एक दिशा दी अपने कर्म से, बगैर उस कर्म का उल्लेख किए बिना। हम भी ये सीख जाएं, हम कर्म करें और उसका उल्लेख बंद करें।
वी हैव अ वेरी ग्रेट लिविंग एग्जाम्पल, हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल है हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी, जिस तरह वो भगवान के परिप्रेक्ष्य या भगवान की तरफ, और जिस तरह वो आराधना सेल्फ, इट इज़ सेल्फ, वो ज़रूरी है। और बाकी चीज़ों के बारे में हमने बहुत बात करी, एंड आई एम श्योर द जेन जेड, द न्यू जनरेशन will have a lot of questions. You can ask them in the comment box. I will request Guru Ji to answer it. This podcast will be on his video also, so he could directly reply to them also. And we will also put all the details of his programs and his ashram, which is near Washington, and anybody can perhaps get in touch with him by the electronic medium. And with this, it was a lovely podcast. And
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.